Episode 3, A Candlelit Evening. The late afternoon sun dipped lower behind the hills, casting a soft orange glow that filtered through the trees. The cottage seemed to hum with anticipation, as if the walls themselves were waiting for the evening to unfold. Ella stood at the small wooden table by the window, her hands moving slowly as she arranged a few things. A small bundle of wildflowers she had picked earlier, a weathered book of poetry, and a single candle, ready to be lit once the sun disappeared. She had always loved this time of day. It was the quiet transition between the busy hum of daytime and the deep stillness of the night. Outside, the world was preparing for rest. The squirrels nestled into their burrows, the birds settling on their branches, and even the leaves, swirling into the soft wind, seemed to fall more gently now, as if they too were ready to sleep. Ella lit the candle, the soft flicker of the flame casting a warm, golden light across the room. She turned off the small lamp in the corner, leaving only the glow of the fire and the candlelight to fill the space. The air inside the cottage was thick with the comforting scent of burning wood, mingling with the earthy sweetness of the pine cones she had gathered and set by the hearth. The world outside the window was fading into twilight, the sky a deep shade of indigo. Ella wrapped her fingers around the warm mug of tea she had prepared and carried it to the chair by the fire. The knitted blanket she loved so much lay waiting, and as she sank into the chair, she draped it over her legs, savoring the cozy weight of it. With a contented sigh, Ella opened the book of poetry, her eyes scanning the familiar words. She didn't need to read much. Even the presence of the book itself brought a kind of quiet joy. These moments were rare. Time that was hers and hers alone, unbothered by the demands of the world beyond the cottage's walls. She let the words drift in and out of her thoughts as the fire crackled gently beside her. As the light outside dimmed further, the room grew darker, but the candle's flame flickered brighter, casting soft shadows across the walls. It reminded Ella of the nights when she was a child, sitting by the fireplace with her grandmother, listening to her tell stories while the fire flickered in the same comforting way. Those memories always surfaced during her autumn stays at the cottage, gentle reminders of a simpler time when the world felt safe and small. The wind outside began to pick up, rattling the window pane slightly, but inside the cottage, everything was warm and secure. Ella took a slow sip of her tea, the warmth spreading through her chest, bringing with it a sense of deep relaxation. The fire crackled again, sending a soft glow through the room, and she leaned back in her chair, closing her eyes for a moment, letting the sounds and the warmth envelop her. She thought of how rare it was to slow down like this, to just be still and let the quiet moments settle. Outside, the leaves continued to fall, their slow descent a reminder that nothing lasted forever. Not the seasons, not the days, not even the busy thoughts that filled her mind most of the time. But here, in this quiet place, Ella could breathe deeply, knowing that even as things changed, there was still beauty in the letting go. The wind outside calmed and the candle flickered low as the evening deepened into night. Ella let her gaze linger on the flame for a moment longer before reaching out to snuff it out. The fire in the hearth would burn for a little while longer, enough to warm the room through the night. Ella set her empty mug on the table beside her and curled up deeper into the blanket, her eyes growing heavy. The poetry book rested on her lap, but she didn't need to read anymore. The soft rhythm of the fire and the cool night air were enough to soothe her into a restful peace. Outside, the moon had risen, casting a soft silver glow across the forest. But Ella's eyes remained closed, her breath slow and steady. The night stretched on, quiet and calm, as Ella drifted off to sleep, wrapped in the warmth and comfort of the place she loved most. The cottage, with its glowing hearth and quiet stillness, was her refuge, a reminder that, in the end, it's the simple things that bring the greatest peace.